Okay, let's move to October, November 2010, question number 10. So question number 10 is still about the straight line, the linear function. So this time around, they didn't give you the coordinates. Actually, I think I'm lying. They gave you the coordinates, but your coordinates are in the graph, so your coordinates are not written. So it needs your brain to figure out what are the coordinates. So the first thing to know here is how to determine your coordinates from the graph. So the easiest thing to know about your coordinates is that your coordinates, you normally get them where your graph is intercepting each axis. So here we have the horizontal axis, which is x, and the vertical axis, which is y. So now our first coordinates will be at this point where our graph is intercepting. As you can see, our graph is intercepting at -3 along the x-axis. So it means we will get x1 and y1. Why am I saying that we have x1 and y1? Because whenever I determine the coordinates, remember your graph is starting from the left side rising to the right side. So from the left side, the first interception it was on x, and the last interception it was on y. So for the first interception, you have the x1 and the y1 because it's the first interception. So what is the value of x here? Your x is -3. And where x is -3, what is the value of y? Along this line, it means y is at 0. So remember, along the x-axis, y will always be at 0. So when x is -3, y is 0. So we'll say y is 0 here. Let's move here. Along the y-axis, we can see that we have an interception at 2. So now it means here we're gonna get x2 and y2. Why do we have x2 and y2? Because we had our first interception of x1 and y1. This is the second interception moving from left to right. So that is why we have x2 and y2. Now we will say in this interception our y is lying at point 2. And what about our x? Our x will be at 0. So it means wherever y is 2, x is what? Is 0. So at x I'll write 0. So these are our coordinates. I can write them properly like -3, 0, 0, 2, and then I will come and say x1, y1, say x2, y2. Okay, so now you asked to solve this linear function. Remember, what you need to do first is to calculate a, and our a, remember, it's a slope. We normally use this formula: a is equals to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. I think there is some noise here. I have the construction in the neighborhood, so you might not hear me very well. Now you come at this point and start to substitute. Where there is y2, you put 2. So you'll say a is equals to 2 minus 0, because our y1 is 0. So x2 is 0 minus x1 is -3. So a is equals to 2 over 3. So this is the value of a. So remember, you will come and say y is equals to ax. So on a, you'll come and say is 2 over 3x. So it's ax plus what? Plus b. Now that we haven't calculated b, but now the easy way not to calculate b is that when you are given the graph, b is always depicted on the y-intercept. So it means our curve is intercepting at 2 on the y-axis, so our b gonna be 2. You need to always remember this. If you are given the graph, the value of b is always on the y-intercept. So if your curve is intercepting at 2 on the y, so it means the value of b is 2. So if your curve it was intercepting at -1 along the y, your b was gonna be -1. So in this case, your b gonna be 2. So you'll come and say y is equals to 2 over 3 x plus 2 because our curve is intercepting at 2 along the y. So this is how you do it, and option number 3 will be 100% correct. Okay.